Audio Jungle.
So Dennis, how are you thinking about scale and consolidation and multi-store and because again, you've got a couple of hats that are very relevant to that between the EVI group and how you're helping people market through Spinner. So, are we going to see a a 500 store operator down the road or a 100 store operator down the road? Is just it seems like every conversation I'm having is about consolidating and rolling up the business.
Yeah, Brian. In order to make that happen, right, I think that we need to have operators, and it's going to kind of tie into what Rob was saying about experience, right?
Mhm.
And you have to really be able to scale experience, and that's been a really difficult thing to do from a corporate, conglomerate trying to do it, right? You need the
Mhm.
small owner operator to be in the store in order to do this, right? So I once walked into a laundromat with a first time customer, right? And she stopped at the door and said, I don't even know where to start, right? And
Right.
in that moment is everything, right? Your customer isn't comparing you to another laundromat, right? They're comparing you to the nicest place they've been to recently. That could be a hotel, it could be a gym, it could be a coffee shop. And that comparison happens in the first 5 minutes, right? So when someone walks in, they're asking, do I feel welcome? Do I feel safe? And do I immediately know what to do, right? If there's confusion right away, trust drops, your brand drops, right? Even if the machines are great. So for owners watching right now, right, this is about designing the space on purpose, right? Clear signs, open sight lines, easy payment, a store that quietly says that you're in the right place and this is going to be easy, right? And if you could scale that in addition to having standard operating processes that are simple for your labor to understand and to repeat when there's turnover, I think that is the key to this massive scale, right? And this is why it's such a touchy topic with franchises, right? It's they offer the SOPs, they offer a lot of that training and a lot of that repeatable process that makes this all work, right? But the individual store owner operator can easily do this as well.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And Randy, having not only chatted with you over at Alliance, but a couple of your executive leadership over the course of this year, I know you guys are thinking a lot about your role in helping support those that are trying to, scale up on store operation and consolidate the business. So when you think about multi-store management and consolidation, what does that mean to you all for the new year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's another flavor, right? I think are we going to have owners that have 100, 200 stores? I think it's a possibility, but it's just another flavor. Is that because Burger King comes to town, does that mean that the guy that has a taco shop down the street goes belly up? It doesn't, because they're both providing a service that people want, and if they're both doing it at a high level, they're both going to be successful. But I think the technology is there, right? I think that was the missing link for a number of years was if I'm not in my store or I can't count on my attendant to be trustworthy, they were handling money, I really can't scale. It's out of sight, out of mind, and that's problematic for owners. With things going cashless now, with systems, I can remote start a machine from anywhere in the world. The technology is leading in that direction. So I think it's more possible today than it ever was. But again, I think as you look at franchise, it's another option, but it's not for everybody. I think the average owner needs to focus on everything that Dennis hit on, walking in that customer's shoes from the moment they come in the store. And I think as we look at what I can do to set my store apart, we talked about AI, we talked about technology, we talked about, upgrading machinery, but the stuff that you can do for free, are my attendants briefed to greet people when they come in the store? Do they remember names? All of those types of things are the intangibles that are going to make a store successful, whether it's a franchise, whether it's an independent. So not overlooking in the technology is exciting and all these different ways we can accept payment is very exciting, but not overlooking there's still a human element, right? Like we go to places where we feel
Yeah.
welcome, where we know a face, and that is never going to go away. And I think that ultimately is going to determine your success in the marketplace more than even some of the technology.
Yeah, well, that's certainly a reminder when I make store visits, including visiting two of Rob's stores a couple of weeks ago, is that we tend to, again, look at things on a big scale when really it's just what's happening in that neighborhood.